back to California Cooking. Christmas is almost here, so I have some holiday recipes that your family and friends are gonna love, starting with a delicious appetizer, Meyer lemon ricotta toast with blistered grapes. Then I'm making a Christmas salad to go with my main dish, a decadent white lasagna. I'm so excited for you guys to meet our guest today. She is my inspiration because when it comes to entertaining, food, and interior design, no one is more stylish than Athena Calderon. I've been following Athena for years now on Instagram, and she joins us with some much needed holiday inspiration. Take a look. Hi, Athena.
Hi, how are you, Jess? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I have to, I hate to gush, but it's funny when you watch people, whether it be on TV or now it's Instagram, and there's this sense of like feeling you kind of know someone, even though we've never met.
I feel like we know each other already.
See, and I feel that way about you because I've been following you on Instagram for a while now, and I just love you so much. When I told my husband the other day, I'm like, I'm doing this with Athena, and he's like, no way. And I don't feel that way about a whole lot of people, but you are on the top of my list because I think you are the chicest woman alive. And just everything you do, from your decor to the way you entertain, just everything is just this elegance and this kind of effortless, kind of chic vibe that inspires me.
Oh, that really makes me so happy because everything that I do and everything that I believe in and that I'm rooted in really started because I was home as a young mom and needed self-expression and creative expression. So everything that I do now in my 40s is what started in my 20s when I was just home and needed to kind of find a sense of self, and like food and gathering around the table and creating deliciousness and beauty kind of became this like guidepost that gave me purpose and passion.
And I think, what's beautiful too, that I don't know that many people are able to do, is to combine fashion and design and food and entertaining into one space. And it's just kind of fun to kind of live vicariously through you and to watch the way that you do all this.
To me, I didn't choose that path. It's just that I almost had creative schizophrenia for so long, and I liked so many different creative realms. So it really it was never one or the other. It was never food or design. They always kind of worked in tandem with one another. So it's fun. And sometimes I'm all over the place, but I think that's what keeps it interesting too.
What were you into originally first? Was it one of those elements, or?
I studied dance in high school and in college, so I was always a creative. And then I moved to New York City to study acting. And then I had a baby, and I was like, I paused all of that. And it was really cooking that started to allow me to trust myself, experiment, and almost self-educate, because I would create these very complex recipes and read all the reviews, and I just became a little bit of like a recipe nerd, and just like really began to learn and then feel pride in learning. And then it connected to like pulling my community who were in their 20s. Nobody wanted to come to a dinner party. They were out in the world. And I was like, no, come to me. There's so much beauty and deliciousness for you to experience. So it became a social expression as well as like, who knew it was going to become a career?
I Swoon is kind of the umbrella over all of what you do, right?
Exactly.
Which says it all. When I see Athena's pictures, I swoon over what she's doing.
I want to wow people. I want to push the creative boundaries. And, I became the branch girl.
Yes.
And I was like, how could I take branches to a next level? So I'm like, I'm going to fill my whole house with branches.
Okay, see, Athena, I thought I was weird because I'm a branch girl. And my husband would say, why do you keep dragging dead branches into the house? I'm like, they're not dead, it's fall. And so the one you did recently, I think right before Thanksgiving, and you had all these beautiful trees in your living room, and I just was like, love.
Oh, thanks. It was really fun. And for me, it's funny, as I start to dream and build what's next, and people ask me like, well, what is it that you love? Like, I love the kind of conceiving and conception and the creative process of working with other people to kind of build this almost like a wordless expression.
Thinking about, obviously, the holidays, Christmas right around the corner, what kind of tips do you have, for people that are entertaining?
I really think just be really definitive and just choose one appetizer, like one starter, a dish that you can make in advance, like a braise or, a ragu or something that can be made in advance. Or like what we're going to make today, as much as you can prep in advance. If making a crostini, and you have to slather with olive oil the toasts and pre-toast them, and make your dressing for your salad in advance, and even put your salad in the bowl. Do as much as you can in advance. And then another tip I have is to not feel as though you need to go crazy with your tablescape. I mean, don't do what I did and put a whole forest in your house. But I really think that you can think about entertaining and the holidays holistically. So oftentimes what I'm going to put on the table to eat is often the same elements that I'm going to use as decor. So I think that you could use food instead of flowers on your table, and it could be beautiful and abundant. And I'm going to show you what I did a little bit later on the table.
I can't wait.
Also, to your husband's point and thinking that the branches were dead, I actually clipped some actually dead branches because they could still be sculptural and beautiful. You could still find beauty in something that has dried up. So I think that.
So he's wrong, is what you're saying.
He's wrong.
He is absolutely, he's wrong. And I'm going to tell him, you said so. And then I have your book here. You have such lovely, beautiful recipes. Are you going to plan on doing another book, or what's next for you? Because this book, obviously, Cook Beautiful, gorgeous.
Thank you. My publisher wants me to do another book. I haven't yet figured it out, but I love them. And I'm so proud of them. And that book, Cook Beautiful, won a James Beard Award, which was just blew my mind. Nothing I ever imagined. And then my second book, Live Beautiful, actually is in its 15th printing right now. It's selling way more than the cookbook, which actually surprised me because it came out right before the pandemic. So anyway, both books tapped into a different side of my own creativity, and I loved them each for different reasons. So I have to figure out what beautiful is next. But
Shall we make our crostinis?
Yes. So what I'm gonna kind of guide you through is making a roasted grape crostini with the creamiest, most decadent, delicious ricotta. The reason I love this recipe is because the grapes, once you roast them in a really high heat oven and slather them with a little olive oil, put some fresh herbs, they get really jammy and sweet, and then salt and pepper them makes them a little bit savory, and they're just so good. And it's something you can make in advance. And then we'll toast up our crostini, slather on some ricotta with some lemon zest so it's a little bit bright and not too rich. And then just dollop those grapes on top of the ricotta, drizzle it with a little bit of balsamic vinegar reduction, some pine nuts. And the great thing about this is you can make all the components separately in advance, and then right before your guests come, just compose everything together.
Mine is not as chic as Athena's. But I think it does look really pretty, and it looks wintry, which I love.
This sitting on a table when your friends arrive is like a form of decor,
Absolutely. I put my toasted pine nuts, Athena, and last touch, my flaky sea salt.
Amazing.
And I've got my grape crostini, and it's beautiful.
This was so much fun.
Happy holidays, Athena.
Happy holidays. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Athena is everything I thought she would be and more. She is so lovely. But coming up, Athena is going to share her tips on how to create a super chic holiday table. Then, if you need help creating your holiday menu, I've got you covered with a Christmas salad and a decadent white lasagna. Don't go away. Athena is the queen of home entertaining. She makes everything look so effortless and beautiful. Here are her tips for a pretty holiday table.
Hi Jess, I am so excited to share with you this beautiful but also super simple holiday table. I chose a theme and I really ran with it. The theme was grapes because the recipe that we just made together was with black grapes. So I often think that when we're building a tablescape for the holidays, we can get overwhelmed. And we think sometimes that we need to spend a fortune, and that's so not the case. Everything on this table actually came from the supermarket. I got different grapes, both red grapes and black grapes. And I used those as decor, but also used it as the launching pad for me to kind of figure out what the vibe was for the rest of my table. Everything on the table is kind of dark and moody and pulls from the hue of the grapes. I even have these sweet little vintage glasses that have grapes on them, but also grape colored. These were my parents, so they also have sentimental value. And one other thing that I really want to kind of teach people is that when you're figuring out how to set your table, you never want everything to be on the same level or flat up against the tabletop. You kind of want to use taper candles, but also cake stands, objects in your house to kind of raise things up. So when you look at the table, it kind of moves up and down rather than just being on a singular plane. And then another kind of fun thing that I did was I just snipped some dead branches in my yard and used them as decor to sit upon the napkin and plate. Another great idea is to use an herb, like the herb that you used in the recipe we made together. You can use rosemary, sage, tarragon. It's really sweet to have that beautiful kind of wild element on your plate. It also speaks to the season. It also speaks to something that is fragrant and touches upon another one of your senses. So I hope that this was informative. I love this idea of sticking to a theme so that it allows you to stay focused, and rather than feeling overwhelmed, by sticking to this great theme, it allowed me to have these guardrails and stay focused on the theme that I wanted to build. And I think that this is a moody, emotional table that works perfectly for the holidays.
So simple and chic, just beautiful. Thanks, Athena. Now onto a simple salad to serve up this Christmas Eve. Take a look. I thought it'd be nice to make a festive little salad. It's a, white lasagna, it's a heavy meal, so something kind of light and a vegetable is nice. So quick and easy, we've got some arugula already washed. I'll just do the whole thing. Well, I always do that. I always leave a little bit left behind for no reason. Endive. I rarely use endive, but I thought it would be pretty just to mix up the color. You just slice it up. It's kind of a bitter flavor, which is nice. Put those all around. And then fennel. I love fennel. It kind of plays off the sausage too that's in the white lasagna. You just cut it down the middle, and it's got that anisey flavor. You take the bit on the outside because usually it's kind of tough. And then in the middle, another little tough part. And then you just cut it into thin little slices. Again, it's crunchy, it's refreshing. Fennel goes in. Just for the color, I got some pomegranate seeds. See, it's Christmas already, that's all you need. And now, a quick dressing. So usually, dressings for me always start with a Dijon mustard. Then you add an acid, either lemon or vinegar, and then olive oil. And obviously you can flavor it any way you wish, but that's kind of the basics to get yourself a vinaigrette. So I have some champagne vinegar that I just thought would be a nice little festive touch. Dijon mustard, a touch of sweetness, honey or agave. Got our vinegar. You could add garlic to this at this point if you like. Salt, pepper. We add in good olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And you mix as you pour and it emulsifies. And then you've got yourself a dressing. So dress the salad right before you're gonna eat it because you don't want it to wilt. Just some shaved Parmesan, and there you go, your festive Christmas Eve salad. That is the perfect course to serve before my cheesy white lasagna. That's coming up next. I love a holiday dish that you can make ahead of time and then heat up right before your guests arrive. This white lasagna is exactly that. Take a look at how it all comes together. I'm thinking about Christmas Eve dinner, and it's one of those meals I think that's special. Some families do kind of a big thing on Christmas Eve, some do something bigger on Christmas Day. Usually in my family, we go to church that night to a candlelight service, and then when we come home, we want to eat, but it needs to be ready. We don't want to have to start cooking when we get home from church. So this is the perfect thing. I'm gonna make a white lasagna. But this white lasagna, it doesn't have the red sauce, but it does have some turkey. I'm gonna use some Italian turkey sausage, some spinach, a white bechamel sauce instead of a red sauce, mozzarella, ricotta, the same usual suspects, but I'm gonna try it this way, and maybe, because I do love my red sauce, I might just put a little bit of a red sauce at the bottom of the plate and then serve the white lasagna on top. So we'll see how it goes. First things first though, I wanna get the sausage cooking and then show you how I make that bechamel. All right, to get our sausage going, you could do an Italian spicy pork sausage, you could do an Italian sweet sausage. I decided to go with a turkey sausage. It comes in the casing, and so you just split the casing open with a sharp knife, and then you just take the sausage out of the casing, and then you just fry it up, easy. And you can add a little bit of olive oil if you need to get it going, but you just want to crisp this up, get it nice and brown, and this will be one of the layers in our lasagna. So our sausage is cooked. To the same pan, more olive oil, and I'm gonna cook up some fresh spinach. And I wanna cook it because I wanna get the water out. You don't want your lasagna to become watery, so you just put a bunch of spinach, and it shrinks down, as you know, so we'll let that cook down. And look at all of that spinach. Just cook down into a little pile, but see how much liquid comes from that? So I'm gonna put our cooked spinach into some paper towel, and I'm gonna let that drain while we make our bechamel. That's the next step. A stick of butter. We're gonna melt our butter. To our butter, we're gonna do a half a cup of flour and 2 tablespoons. That should give us, we hope, the right proportions here. We wanna cook the flour. You don't want a raw flour taste, so we're just gonna continue to cook the butter and the flour together, and then kind of turn it into a dark blonde kind of a color. You want the flour to cook out a little bit. Done. And we're gonna add the milk. So I have 4 cups of milk, and we're gonna whisk. And the goal is that we get a beautiful cream sauce. All the milk goes in. And you just keep whisking. To that, some salt. I'm gonna add some pepper, a touch of nutmeg. Also, it's the holidays, so that's kind of a nice little touch. I'm just gonna put in a couple of crushed garlic cloves. I'm gonna let those garlic cloves hang out in this hot sauce and flavor it. Okay, time now to build our lasagna, a big baking dish. You've got all your ingredients laid out, and it's the same concept with any lasagna, but my favorite thing, I don't know if you guys have tried the no-boil lasagna noodles. Genius. First step is the bechamel on the bottom of the pan. Now, we just lay our lasagna noodles right in there. And they never quite fit perfectly. So all you do, I just break off little pieces I'm actually gonna do a little bit more bechamel on top of these noodles. Now we've got our sausage, so we crumble in our sausage. And then our lovely spinach, so try to squeeze. Look at all the water, you guys. Look at that. This is a very vital step. And I wanna just chop up the spinach a little bit. Okay, so we sprinkle around our spinach, our ricotta cheese. We'll do dollops of ricotta. I'm gonna just lay in a few leaves of basil along the way. Mozzarella cheese, of course. And you could grate Parmesan, real Parmesan cheese, but I already got mine grated. That really helps make things a lot easier. And now we do it all over again. Okay, last layer. You just want to make sure that all of these noodles are covered because they're not baked. You want them to have liquid on top so that they cook. Time to go in the oven. I'm gonna cover it and bake it at 375 until it's bubbly and cooked all the way through. Oh my gosh, this white lasagna. First of all, smells incredible, looks so good. And I think the hardest part is just wait. I would wait 15, 20 minutes before you cut into it because otherwise it might be a mess. But here's a little thing I wanna do. I'm gonna just serve it with, I just have some of my favorite jarred marinara sauce. I warmed it up, and here goes. Did I cut through all my layers? I did. You put that on top, a little sprinkling of Parmesan. Your family will be so happy to dig into this on Christmas Eve. That white lasagna is so festive, comforting, and oh so tasty. Well, that does it for us, and I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see y'all in 2022. Bye. Athena is the queen of entertaining. She makes everything look so effortless. Blah, blah, blah. She makes everything look so effortless. I can't say effortlessly. She makes everything look so effortless.